Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into today's Eagles Mailbag video. I want to answer as many Eagle Mailbag questions via our subscribers as I can possibly do here in about a 10-minute time frame. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into G Big Eagle, who says, "Did you see that ESPN ranked Dallas Goedert as a top 10 tight end in the NFL?" I did. So this was an ESPN Plus article. So if you didn't have ESPN Plus, then you aren't able to read it. But I had the list for you, and to me, it's kind of fascinating that not only was Goedert ranked in the top 10, other tight ends in Philadelphia were as well. Okay, so let's start with the top 5 from ESPN. And this isn't very controversial, I think. I think ESPN pretty much nailed this. Kittle's the best tight end. Kelsey, number 2. Darren Waller, really good, number 3. He has Andrews from Baltimore, number 4. TJ Hockenson at number 5. Maybe a little controversy there. Hockenson, I think this is more a projection on how good he can be because he hasn't been, a world beater during his time so far with the Detroit Lions. And he has Jared Goff throwing the football, so I don't know about that. Then we get into the next list here. Number 6, how about that? Dallas Goedert sitting there at number 6. Maybe a little bit of a projection as well like Hockenson, but Goedert's been, listen, Goedert's been good the past couple of years. Talk more about that in a second, but injuries have been his main issue. Hunter Henry, 7, and Evan Ingram, 8. Jonnu Smith goes 9, and then Zach Ertz slides in at number 10. How about that? I think it's deservedly so because obviously the writer of this article understands how great Zach Ertz is when healthy and also understands that Zach Ertz was not healthy last year, and therefore he wasn't that great due to the overall stats. Now, in terms of Goedert, I think he can be a top 5 tight end. I think he has all the tools, and I really think this can be the breakout year for Dallas Goedert in Philadelphia. I hope that it is because the odds of Zach Ertz being on the roster week 1 continue to dwindle, despite the fact he might be at training camp, he might not. But I do think that as the number 1 tight end, the clear-cut number 1 guy in Philadelphia this year, Goedert, if he can stay healthy, can really explode on the scene and have a massive season that would be very helpful to quarterback and Jalen Hurts. All right, first question, we'll start here. Will Goedert have a breakout year in 2021? I mean, he's played well. I mean, I think he's broken out in terms of being a top 6 tight end in the league, according to ESPN. I'm talking about a breakout year. 7, 8, 9 touchdowns. Like what Zach Ertz had a couple of years ago, 1,000-yard receiving. He already close to that. Will Goedert break out? Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. All right, next question here comes from Julian Reagar, who, sorry, it's not from Julian Reagar. The question asked, will Julian Reagar amount to a strong number 2 this season? What's your take? Let's hope so. Reagar needs the ball in 2021. Now, we talked about in the past how this is a make-or-break year for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, or this is a make-or-break year for Derek Barnett, or this is a make-or-break year. Okay, normally we wait a couple of years to get to a make-or-break year for a Philadelphia Eagle player because, year 1, year 2, you get to year 3, and it's like, all right, you're going to figure it out. I think it's a make-or-break year for Julian Reagar from a fan's perspective, right? If you're Reagar, you want to play well this year, not just to play well this year, but to get the fans back on your side. A lot of Eagle fans are very bitter that you are not Justin Jefferson, that you are, in fact, Julian Reagar. And so, as a fan, I would want Julian Reagar to start producing now. And if he doesn't, then you're going to see very similar to what happened with Nelson Agholor, who was given, a very long leash and then kept disappointing Eagle fans, and eventually they ran him out of Philadelphia. He played better with the Las Vegas Raiders, but still, I think Reagar needs the ball in 2021 for Reagar's own sake in order to get back into the hearts and minds of Eagle fans, because he plays well, and immediately that's erased from our memory last year, and we go, oh yeah, good thing we took him at number 21 overall in the NFL draft. I think he's going to play well. I have a little bit of concerns, but I'm not that concerned that he's going to play poorly. I think he's going to have a good year alongside Devontae Smith, but he needs to again, win back the hearts and souls and minds and love of all the Eagle fans who were very bummed that he was not a good player last year, and Justin Jefferson, who was taken after him in the draft, was. Giggles Butters. Okay, it's an interesting name, but it's fine. Says, what individual player in the NFC East are you scared of giving the Birds the most trouble going into this season? First off, let me just say this. In terms of individual player, let's start with just overall. Every East team got better this year. Every NFC East team is going to be way better than where it was last year, whether you're Dallas with Dak Prescott coming back, whether you're Saquon Barkley going back for the Giants, or whether you're Washington suddenly having a competent head coach and possibly a very competent and really good quarterback. I'm not a big Ryan Fitzmagic guy, but still, great defense there. I think the overall player that scares me the most is probably Dak, just because Dak can really, make or break a Cowboys season. If he's average Dak, the Cowboys will be average. If he's great Dak, they'll probably still be average, but, a little bit more scary from an offensive perspective. The entire, let's be real here, the entire Washington defense scares me. The Washington defensive line is the best in the National Football League, and it can eat. I can't wait to see it versus our offensive line, because I would take our offensive line in that fight any day of the week, because I trust our guys, and I love Brooks and that Johnson are back healthy, and I love that Mailata and Dillard are going to compete for left tackle. But if you're going to give me an individual player, it would be Dak. Give me a position group, it would be the Washington football team. If you're going to give me a team in the NFC East that scares me the most, it would still be the Dallas Cowboys, just because I hate when Dallas is good, and this is probably the best roster Dallas has had in a while, even though they'll probably still be 8-9 or 9-8 or whatever the average is in the season with 17 games. I'll ask you guys this: which NFC East team scares you the most, right, out of them all? Washington, the Giants, the Cowboys. Let me know what you guys think here in terms of which NFC East team scares you the most. I'll say Dallas again, but I think you can kind of make a case for each of these teams not named the New York Giants. All right, before we go and keep going here, we're trying to get to 20,000 subs. And we keep talking about this because we want to get there by the start of training camp, but we're so close. Like right now, we have 19,459 subscribers. So that means we're less than 600 away from literally 20,000 subs here on the channel. I want to see that before training camp. We are less than 2 weeks away from training camp, so help us out to grow the channel and just help us out to get 20,000 subs. Go down below and hit that red subscribe button. You know you want to, especially if you have been watching our videos but haven't subscribed just yet. All right, next question here comes from Mike Halos, who says, so far, assuming we get 3 first-round picks next year and keep them, who do you think we should pick? What position should we address? The easy ones are cornerback, linebacker, defensive end. Those are the simple ones. In terms of players, I'll throw 5 up there, right? I think that if they have a high first-round draft pick, one of the 3, or they want to trade up, Derek Stingley is going to be the best cornerback in this draft. At LSU, he's going to be a baller this year. Keep an eye on him during those afternoon CBS SEC games, because you're going to see a lot of him. He's going to be good. Andrew Booth's going to be a mid-first-round draft pick out of Clemson, maybe the number 2 cornerback in this draft. If you need a pass rusher, a little bit later on, the mid-20s, Drake Jackson out of USC is going to be a player I think could move up in draft boards as well. Zach Harrison from OSU as well could be one of those 14 overall picks to 27 overall draft picks to inside the top 10, right? Depending on how well they play. And then I'll give you one linebacker that I like a lot in this draft. It's Christian Harris out of Alabama. Those Alabama linebackers, at least in college, play very, very well. I would love to see the Eagles bolster the linebacker position if they struggle this year, because I hope that they're going to be just fine with Eric Wilson now coming over and being the leader of that group. Cornerback will continue to be the issue, though, and I think that's why you got to sit back and you go, hey, would it be the worst thing in the world if they took 2 cornerbacks in the first round? No. I mean, if they were to get Stingley and Booth, I would sit back and be like, okay, that's totally fine. So I would like to see Zach McPherson win the number 2 job and play well this year, but there's no guarantee. And so if he plays poorly, then you got to draft a cornerback early on. If he plays well, you still need to draft a cornerback, but maybe not with your first of 3 first-round draft picks that are going to obviously take place if Carson Wentz is able to play at least 70% of the snaps, which I think that he will, meaning, therefore, the Eagles are going to have a lot of draft picks in the first round next year. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, before we're going to keep going here, we mentioned training camp a couple of days away, really, and the Eagles official training camp hat is on sale right now by going to our link at chatsports.com/Eagles Camp. It's down below me right now, also in the description box. This is what you'll see all the Eagle players and coaches wearing on the sideline during training camp, during the preseason, and it is a great look for you to stay cool out in the summer. I was on the golf course last night, didn't have a hat, and I regretted it. Might need to pick one of these up. They look sweet. I encourage you guys to go ahead and do the same. Chatsports.com/Eagles Camp is the official link that you need. All right, a couple more questions here. We'll go to Jacob Fry, who says, could the Eagles sign LeVeon Bell, or what do you think the Eagles would be good if they signed LeVeon Bell? Oh, man. I'll be quick here. Don't even think about LeVeon Bell. Like, don't even think about Bell at all. Between the drama that apparently he had with Kansas City and the fact that he's just not been good since he held out and missed the entire season a couple years ago in Pittsburgh, this is not anything you need to go ahead and bring to your roster. I think they'd be much better with him on their roster. I like their current depth chart. I've shown it to you many, many times. I like Kerryon Johnson. I like Kenny Gainwell. I like Boston Scott. I love Miles Sanders. So I don't think they need to add a running back at all. I don't think they will add a running back at all. And if they were to, I mean, if they had to get somebody, give me Gurley over Bell, even though both of them to me are pretty darn trash. Okay, one more here. This says from Colin MW, is Darius Slay overrated? You know, that's a tough question, right? I mean, he might be a little overrated, but here's the deal. I think Slay's struggles aren't his own. I think that last year he got put in way too many one-on-one situations with no help over the top to try and mask what was an overall bad secondary. And so what would happen is Jim Schwartz would be like, okay, our secondary is really, really bad. Let's at least put our best defensive player, Darius Slay, or at least the best DB, on their best receiver. We'll put him one-on-one, and we'll see what happens. So I think Slay got beat a lot just because he didn't have the help that a lot of cornerbacks need. I mean, even the great cornerbacks need a little bit of help, unless your name is, Jalen Ramsey, who's easily the best cornerback in the National Football League. And so I think with the new defensive coordinator, I think with, Anthony Harris in the backfield playing a little bit more zone, I think that they can overall protect Slay a little bit better and give him more chances to get picks. Like, that was a big thing. Like, Slay basically did nothing in the interception category last year. If he could pump that up a little bit and not get isolated as much, I think he's going to be considered, again, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And he was rated a top 10 cornerback by Pro Football Focus. So people understand he's still very, very good. And I think that he himself knows he's still very, very good. Better scheme from a defensive standpoint. A little bit of help over the top is going to go a long way. But they need to get another cornerback to help him out on the other side, or hope that Zach McPherson plays well enough to, keep the ball going on both sides instead of just focusing on that side opposite of Darius Slay. What do you guys think? Is Slay a top 10 cornerback in the NFL? I think he is. I said, listen, I still think he is. If you agree, type 1 down below for yes. If you disagree, then go ahead and type 2 down below for no. All right, ultimate for today here on our Philadelphia Eagles Now mailbag video. If you want to jump in on our next mailbag next week, I pulled most of our questions from last week's mailbag. Use the hashtag Eagles down below in the comment section right now. I'll go through these next week and pull as many as I possibly can. And be sure to be subscribed as we get closer to 20,000 subs. Remember, if you want to get your mailbag question answered, you have to be a subscriber, because we do check that here at Chat Sports. We want you guys to help us out and therefore get your question answered in a later video. All right, ultimate for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, as we sign off for the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys on Monday.